The sharing economy allows people to take their individual resources, like their car or their apartment, and utilize them to the fullest possible extent that they want to. They have that choice. They don't have to. You don't have to be an Uber driver. You don't have to put your apartment on Airbnb. But this is unique because this didn't exist before. This option didn't exist to people that had just a car or just one home or apartment. Before, if you wanted to make a little bit of money off of driving people around or providing people a place to stay, you needed to be well connected and be able to have investors and government permits so you can build a 150 room hotel, or so you could have a 80 car taxi fleet. And that helped the well-off, the ones that were capable of making those connections and that had those connections throughout their lives to investors and government officials that could grant permits. But the sharing economy lets individuals profit from these industries and support themselves and the ones they care about without needing access to all those resources. And that's incredibly liberating. And that liberation shouldn't be hindered by government regulation. Government wants to regulate. It says on the behalf of safety and health concerns, but if you look about who really encourages politicians to make these statements, you see that it's the hotel industry and the taxi industry in their traditional forms that really want these regulations because they know that it will slow the growth of Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb, some of the most prominent examples of the sharing economy. And that just protects their profits. It protects the old way of doing things. And by protecting the old way, that doesn't help people use their property now to the fullest extent that they can. And we shouldn't do that. Uber and Airbnb and Lyft have been able to successfully ferry people about or provide places to stay for a night or two with very few problems. The review system and just the self-regulation that occurs on those platforms is sufficient to ensure that everyone is happy. We don't need extra government regulation that at the end of the day really just protects the old, well-connected individuals that had the traditional model of the hotel or the taxi. And we need to allow people to use their property to the fullest extent. We shouldn't restrict a person's ownership and utilization of their property. When you buy something, you shouldn't be micromanaged as to how it gets to be used. So when you buy a car, one of the most expensive purchases you'll have, or a house, again, one of your most expensive purchases, you shouldn't be told how to use that property. You should be totally free to use that. It benefits yourself, benefits your family and those you care about, and it benefits all the customers that now have extra taxis on the road and all the people that can stay in Airbnb houses. We should encourage this. We shouldn't let the old interests dominate.